Hey guys, and this is the follow-up video to box plots. This is the example we are going to use to demonstrate how to draw a box plot. We've got a given data set. It's not ordered, but because we're going to use the calculator, we're not going to need to put it in order. So it's going to get a little bit quicker for us. Now, in my calculator off to that corner, I have actually already pre-entered all that data. I have pre-entered that data. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find out my 5-number summary. So I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to do my 5-number or 5-figure summary. So I want the min, Q1, Q2, otherwise known as the median. I want Q3, and I want the max. Okay, so these are the 5 bits of information I'm going to use my calculator to find. So I've already included the data into my calculator here. So all I've got to do, so once I've entered the data, which we've done in a previous video, I'm going to Shift 1 to bring up this information. And remember, it's option 5 to get our 5-number summary information. Now, because this information is not ordered, it might be a bit tricky to find some of the information. So minimum and maximum, we can see though pretty clearly, because it is a small data set, that our minimum is going to be 2. Alright, so our minimum is 2. And our maximum is 12. Okay, so currently our maximum is 12. Let's go now and find Q1, so that's option 3. Which is 3.5. We now want the Q3, which is going to be, or median rather. Let's go median first, which is option 4. And then we're going to look for our Q3 digit, which is option 5. And there we have our 5-number summary. So as you can see, that did not take long at all. Okay. Now we need to determine whether or not there are any outliers. So we're going to use that formula that we've been using. So we start with Q1 minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. Okay, so that's going to be Q1, which is 3.5 times, well, not times rather, minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. Alright, and that is going to get us to, well, we don't actually know the interquartile range yet, so we should probably do that one first. Let's do the interquartile range. So IQR is Q3 minus Q1. That might come in handy. Alright, so we've got 6.5 minus 3.5, and that is going to get us 3. So our interquartile range is now 3. So I can change this interquartile range over here to 3. So we type that into our calculator. I won't do it on mine, on your screen. I'll just tell you that that will equal minus 1. Okay, so that one's minus 1. So there are no lower outliers for this information, for this data set, because there's nothing lower than minus 1. Let's look at Q3 now. We've got a plus the 1.5 times IQR. Q3 is 6.5 We want to add now 1.5 times 3. And again, won't do that on my calculator. You can do that on yours. But you should get 11. Now we can see that there actually is a number that is above 11. So therefore we have an outlier of 12. So the outlier is 12 in this information. So what we're going to do over here, let's use a different color. Alright, I'll pop that down underneath the green bit, but I'll still get your arrow in. Alright, so 12 is an outlier. So the next maximum for our purposes is the next lowest number, which in this data set is 9. Okay, so now we have a new max because we've taken the old max out as the outlier. So we don't want to include that in there. Next thing we want to do is we actually want to draw this up. So best way to do that is dig out a ruler. I use my trusty ruler here. Turn it nice and around, and I'm going to draw up a scale. There's my scale. Just going to turn off my calculator here. So there's my scale. I want the numbers in my scale to at least include 2 and go up to 12. So go down as far as 2 and up as far as 12 to make this all work. So I'll pop that out of the way. In fact, I'll turn that off. Alright. So 2 minus 12, well, that is a range of 10, so I need at least 10 numbers. Alright. Okay. So let's check all of our numbers that we are going to be using in this number line on said number line. So I've now gone from 1 to 13. It's going to encompass all the information that I need. Now, first things first, we have a median, or Q2 is 5. So I want to put my first bit in at the 5. And I'm going to use a ruler to do it, just to make it a little bit neater. Okay, so we're just going to make it a little bit neater, make it a little bit easier to read. Q1 is at 3.5, so that's halfway now between 3 and 4. Let's get my ruler in the right spot. And I'm going to draw up that part of the box. Now I know that my minimum score is 2, so I'm going to go over to the 2. And I'm going to draw the end of my whisker. I'm going to go the other way now. So the other way, I've got Q3, which is 6.5. So I go between the 6 and the 7. Try and get about halfway in between. And then my new maximum is 9. So I want to put my line at 9. Alright. So still using my ruler. Preferably straight. Alright. I'm going to join the top of the middle 3 lines. Alright, I'm going to stop about halfway down to do the whiskers. And then I'm going to come down the bottom and finish off my box plot. Now it's not perfect, I get that. Yours probably won't 100% be perfect either, but it's pretty straight and it looks pretty good to me. One last little bit that we need to put in, we need to add in our outlier. So we discovered that 12 is the outlier, and we just mark it with a cross. And that's just how you draw up the box plot. So we have all our features. Alright, so we've got our min, we've got Q1, Q2, or our median. Alright, so our middle score is in there. Pretty easy to find that one. We've got Q3, we've got our max, and our outlier. Okay, so that is how that is all working. Don't forget to draw your number line so you can show the scale. Otherwise, your box plots aren't going to be that easy to analyze. Okay, hopefully this video was interesting and helpful, and good luck with your questions.